Hi, welcome back to Simply Narelle Stitches. I'm Narelle and I'm here for another update on my cross stitching. I was planning on coming back on Monday, but that would have been 2 weeks since my last video. But I had to have surgery on my nose last week. I had a basal cell carcinoma, whatever it was called, on my nose. So I had to get that removed. And it just didn't look pretty. Like, I had the tape stuff they put over it, but it had a bit of like scabbing and stuff you could see through the tape, and it didn't look so great. So I went this morning, got my stitches out. So I've just got a little bit of tape over the top. You probably can't even notice it. It's like really hard to see, which thankfully they use like nice colored tape that it's not so noticeable. But anyway, so that's why I didn't come on Monday. I thought that's probably not very nice to see, so I waited till today. Alright, so what have I been working on? Well, I've been playing along with SPRINGO in the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge group. And this is my board so far. If you're not familiar with the group, I'll link it below. And this is a game that we're playing in April, and it's basically a bingo sort of board. But it's got an extra, like instead of your 5 by 5, it's got 7 by 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 by 5. And they're going to call 25 different numbers. And, pardon me, so not everyone is going to get like a bingo or a SPRINGO. And the numbers are randomly drawn. So basically you choose a project for each letter, and you have to make it tie in with the letter. So for S, you choose something, the chart name, the designer, or something really obvious in the chart that starts with S, and then so on for each of the letters. And then you randomly place the numbers from 1 to 35 in the squares. And then each day, Carolyn calls a number, and that's the project you need to work on for that day. And you have to put 100 stitches in it. I don't stop at 100 stitches, I just keep going. And that's just my daily stitch. So I normally start after dinner, and then I'll just stitch until the end, until I want to go to bed, basically. So if you'll notice, I don't have anything called in my 0 column. I'm sorry, that's probably a bit glary. There we go, it's better. There is nothing called yet in my O, not my 0, my O column. And that is my O Feathers chart from Rosewood Manor, and it hasn't been called at all. So anyway, that's what I've worked on with one other chart, one other project that I've done. So I'm just going to run through what I've got, and you should see a lot of difference. Now I don't have these in any particular order. So now I need to go through them and find, I think that's the one I'm after. Yes, okay. Sorry, you know, not organised, but you don't come here for someone who's professional. All right, so this is my S project. It's called Bedfordshire Sunset by Dimensions. It's a gold collection, and obviously the name Sunset, so that's why I've chosen it. And it's this gorgeous little English cottage in a beautiful garden with a little stream next to it. Oh, I just love it. That's my dream home where I want to live. Now I will have before photos because I have been taking before photos, so I'll pop the before photo up. And then this is how much I have done. Now this got called twice, and in those 2 times I've put in a total, oh gee, I just dropped the bag. Okay, so I put in a total 1,195 stitches. So that is where it is now. Worked a lot on the roof, put in the chimneys. And this is one of those kits where you had to sort the colours yourself. And I'm really not sure if I've got the colours right, because my chimneys are definitely a lot more orange looking than on this picture. So here, they're definitely not, they're not as orange. They're a more brown colour. Mine are definitely more orange. So, but, you know, I'm not pulling it out. And I'm not going to try and resort the floss. It's just, it is what it is. And I'm sure when it's like on the wall no one's going to notice. It just looks like sun coming in on the brick chimneys, making them glow a little bit more, I guess. So I don't know, but that is what I have done on that one. So this is not going to be a very long video because I only have like 6 projects to show you. So that was Bedfordshire Sunset. And these whips that I've picked for this Springo are my oldest whips, or some of my oldest whips that fitted in with the acrostic, or the word letters. P is what I call my yellow pot. This one got called twice. This is, wait, I'll show you what it looks like first. So this only has a number 34510, and this is what it will look like when it's done. So it's a lovely, looks to me like a Venetian style urn with flowers. This is where it was before. And like I said, this got called twice, and I put into this 1,682 stitches. I am getting a lot done on these, which I'm so excited about. And this is where it is now. So I worked a lot here in this pot. I could have gone up and done the flowers, but they're sort of more exciting to stitch. You see them come to life a lot quicker, and I thought, no, I need to get the tedious work of the pot done and get as much done of that as I can. And then on the side, I think it might be this side, there's like another arrangement of flowers. So I'll just keep working my way down on the pot, probably finish all the bottom off actually, and then go back to the top, because then there's not a lot of the top really to do. A bit more florals, and then there's like these twiggy things, stem things that come out. So that is where that is. That's looking really pretty, and the pot's not too hard to do. It's pretty confetti heavy, but there's like 5 or 6 stitches at a time, and then there'll be 3 or 4 of that color, and then over here there'll be a couple more. So it's not like individual stitches, they're like small little clumps. So yeah, I'm finding that actually really enjoyable. This was one of the ones that when I was doing it years ago, I really didn't like stitching on it, and I don't know why, because the fabric is really, really soft. So I don't know why I didn't like working on it, but I guess it's like, you know, a lot of whips, you leave them long enough and they come back to favour. Okay, R was my Redo, I don't know, rose alphabet. And this is a picture that I can't find. Here it is, back to front. This is a DMC kit, and that's what it will look like when it is finished. I'm sorry, it's really glary. I got the 2 desk lamps on, it's probably too much, but anyway. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. Beautiful, gorgeous rose and the alphabet. This one was called Twice, and this is where it was. And I put 1,161 stitches into this, and that's where it is now. So I did, I think, a couple of these. I can't remember if they were finished or not. I don't know now. But I know I've worked down here and done a lot of this sort of greenery down here. And then I plan to finish off what's down the bottom and then just finish up here, which isn't a great deal to go. And then the border. Now, they don't give you very much fabric. So on my border there, this light is just too glary. Hang on. Can I turn one of these off? Is that better? That's a bit better. Alright, so see, there's only that much fabric. So I'm going to have to stitch in hand because I normally use a Q-snap. But when I come to do this border, I'm going to have to stitch in hand because it is just, let me just move this down. There we go. that is really close. I can't put the Q-snap on and then stitch the border. So the border's going to have to be done in hand. That is where that one is. Really, really pretty. And I'm actually listening to, it's actually on YouTube, but the lady has a podcast as well. And it's Annie Elise. And she has a, her YouTube channel is 10 to Life, I think it is. And she's got a podcast on wherever you listen to your podcast called Seriously. And it's all true crime. Oh, glasses just got caught on the tape that I've got on my scar thing. That hurt. Anyway, yeah, so it's a true life, like a podcast that I'm listening to as I'm stitching. And the time just flies by. So yeah, I'm sort of binge watching or binge listening to her videos at the moment. Right, I'll Be Home Cottages, and this one got called 3 times. And this is what it will look like when it's done. It's from Twin Peak Primitives. This was a sale, I think started, I want it 2020, maybe, I don't know. Before that, I have no idea. But anyway, everyone else is well and truly finished. And I think I started actually after the sale. I sort of was late to the bandwagon. But anyway, so this is where it was. And this one, I got a total of 1,770 stitches in. And I finished May. So this has been ongoing forever. And I'm doing it on a piece of, I believe it's, I think it's 16 count Rustico. And it's absolutely huge, but anyway, I'm not going to restart it. So I finished May. And I've miscounted somewhere on the border, and it's just 1 stitch too many along the bottom, I think. So what I did was, I finished the sheep down the bottom, and then did the May. And then I carried along here to do that bottom border. That one, I believe, was down to here. So then I sort of did from there down, and that matched up perfectly. But then this one, I went across to here, and then I went up. And I got up to the top and went, oh no, it's out by 1 stitch. There was no way. Is it that side? No, it's this side, sorry. This side. So that one I just brought down. And then this one, I went across to here and then went up. And then was 1 stitch out. And went, there is no way I am unpicking all that and that just to bring it in 1 stitch. I went, it is what it is, and in the whole scheme of thing, when it's done, and I'm probably going to make this into a quilt because it's really, really big, it's too big to frame, then no one's going to notice, and if they do, tough luck. So that is May. And my month words, I'm doing in a dark brown because they're charted for white, but this fabric is lighter than what the called for fabric is, and white just doesn't stand out. So I'm doing them all in the dark brown. So the sheep I did in white, but I needed to go around them, backstitch around them to make them stand out. And then the house has a really pale colour all the way around, which is nearly the same colour as the fabric. So I also had to go around the outside of the house, and also the fence either side. It's white, you couldn't see it, so I had to backstitch around that as well. But anyway, and yes, it's got American flags on there. That's how it was charted. And my daughter saw it when I was stitching it, and she goes, they're American flags. And I went, yeah, I know. I don't have the strength in me to change them to Australian flags. And I just said to her, every chart that you see that has a flag on it, it's normally an American flag, even though Twin Peak Primitives is not American. But they are catering to the American market like all designers do. So I went, oh, never mind, it's an American flag, just get over it. If I could be bothered changing it to my nation's flag, I could, but no. I just want this done because it's been hanging around for so long. Alright, and then we have N, which I'm doing the Bothy Nutcracker, This was called Twice, and I got 925 stitches into it. That is what it will look like when it's done. It's stitched on navy blue Aida. This is a kit. I think it's 16 count navy blue Aida. And this is where it was. And what did I say? I got 925 stitches. I'm not sure if I actually said that. And that is where he is now. So I just focused on his uniform. So I got quite a lot of his uniform done. It looks so good on the dark fabric. Oh, just pops. It's not the easiest fabric to stitch on, like as in because it's dark. But you just got to get the right lighting. Here you go. So that's my bothy nutcracker. I'm going to finish him off down here, I think, and then maybe give him a head. Can't have a headless nutcracker for long. So that is that one. And then there's only one more for Springo, because like my O didn't get called at all. And today's call is the R for the Redoubt Rose alphabet, so it still didn't get called. Alright, so this is my Galahs by the Waterfront for G. And this is what it will look like when it's done. This is a kit by Country Threads, an Australian designer. And they are beautiful native birds that we have in Australia. Pink Galahs, absolutely beautiful. So that is what it's going to look like. And this one got called the most. This one got called 4 times. And I've put in 1,728 stitches. And if I haven't already, then I'll put a before photo up. But this is where I am now. So I worked a lot on, let me pull that down a little bit. Okay, so I've gone all the way over to the edge here. That's the very edge. Oh, why is that so glary? My goodness. Very edge of the design. And then I worked a lot on the fill-in here, all the grass. I've gone up and done a little bit of that. That's the pump for the water pump. That's the handle, I believe, starting to come in there. So yeah, got a lot done on that one. There's not much to do. There's just a bit of the water pump here, a bit more of the grass out here, and then finish off that bird. I think there's probably a little bit more of the half stitches for the sky to go. Yeah, so that's looking good. And this is the whole piece. It's a long piece, like a wide piece. I don't know where to show it, hang on. So that is it so far. Nearly done. Really, really pretty. And that was all my Springo stitching. And I can't believe I'm actually caught up. And I've actually kept going. So normally, you know, when they do the ABC Ingo or the other bingo one, ABC Ingo, what's the other one called? Bringo for winter. I tend to get, you know, a few days in and then give up. But this time I'm really enjoying it and sticking to it. So, and the other thing, one other project that I worked on is one of my designs. And I just sort of decided to start working on my designs. I did put up a post, I can't find the picture. I put up a post on my socials asking people, to go to my Etsy shop and have a look at all my digital charts and tell me which one you want to see stitched. So people voted on them. Oh, where are they? Yeah, is this? Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 projects were voted on. One of them voted on twice. So I was going to start the one that was voted on twice, I was going through my whips and I found this one that I had already started at some stage called Birdhouse Blues. So I pulled it out and then worked on it. I did it for one night, I think, and I put 466 stitches into it. Hard to see, but that's where it is now. So that's the love heart opening in the middle there. And then I've gone all the way across to each side because I did a kit type thing and cut my fabric really skinny so it goes to within like that far of the border. So yeah, it's interesting when I get that. And I wanted to make sure before I went too much further that was actually going to fit, and it fits. So that is where that one is. You can't see, that's a lot of the birdhouse there. You probably can't see a bit. There's the roof where it comes down. There's a little bit of the blue roof of the gable bit there. So it's a bit of like that blue there and that blue there. So yeah, so I'm gonna continue with this one probably until I finish it, and then I'll start one of my others. Maybe, I was thinking, do I want to make like one day a week where I stitch my own charts? But then when I set things like that, challenges for myself or rules, I guess, for me to do stuff like that, I don't stick to them. It's like once I decide that's what I'm going to do, it's like I don't want to do it anymore. And that's why I've done things before, like I don't know what to work on, so I'll pick a project on spin the wheel or something, or I'll work from my oldest, you know, say I'm going to do my oldest whip down to my newest whip. But once I've said it out loud, it's like I don't want to do it anymore. I don't know, it's so strange. Like Siski Stitches said the same thing in her last video. Once she's decided on something, it's like she doesn't want to do it anymore. It's like once you've spoken it, it's like, no, it doesn't interest you anymore. I don't know, it's like the truth's out there, so you've got to back away. I don't know, it's just really weird. So I think what I might do is just when the whim hits, but I do want to get my chart stitched, because seeing a stitched project I think is a lot more appealing for people than seeing a digital rendition of a project. And people might buy them more readily if they can actually see them stitched up rather than just a digital rendering, like I said. So I don't know, but some of them are quite big. I've got quite a few full coverages on my Etsy store, so they're going to take a long time to do. But anyway, all that to say, I'm going to have a link below. There will be a link below in the little description box, show notes, whatever you like to call it, that will link you to my Etsy store. And if you can just go to the cross stitch charts and look at all the digital ones and tell me which one you want to see stitched, basically. They're pretty easy to determine now, because I have gone in and edited all the images and put digital in the bottom left corner. So it's really easy to see, because I do have some Rosewood Manor charts and some DMC kits and things in there as well. So all the ones that have digital on them are the ones that you're looking at to tell me which one you want to see stitched up. So there you go. Alright, so plans, we're up to plans. I'm going to finish the month with Springo. Try and get done every day that's called. There's only going to be 25 called, so it's not like I've got to do them all. But I'm finding that enjoyable, and I'm finding it fun, and I'm keeping up with it. So I'm going to keep going with Springo. And then the 5 days after that, so they're only going to call up to the 25th. So after the 25th, I think I'm going to catch up on my Whip Go calls. So I'm still doing January Whip Go, and then I'll move on to my February Whip Go. Now the one difference is I have 5 Whip Go boards, and the last Whip Go board is all my new starts. So I think I've only started one of them. I think what I'm going to do is concentrate on my whips first and do all those Whip Go calls that have been called. Then when I catch up with all them, then I go and start the new starts. Now for my new starts, it's only got to be 100 stitches, and then I think it's 100, or have I said 300? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I've said 300. So when I get 300 stitches into a new start, then it goes into the whip rotation, or into all my whips over there. So I think I'm going to catch up on all my Whip Go calls that are whips first, and then do the new starts. Now, if I catch up all the Whip Go calls by August, then in August, no, what am I trying to say? Whenever I catch up on my Whip Go calls, the whips, that's when I'll start doing the new starts. Or if I haven't caught up by the time August comes around, that's my birthday month. So I'm going to spend my birthday month starting my Whip Go new starts, if that makes sense. So does that make sense? So I'm going to do all my Whip Go whips. Then whenever they're caught up, or August comes, whichever comes first, is when I'm going to concentrate on the new Whip Go new starts. Anyway, all that to say, I have one more February whip. No, tell a lie. One more January whip. Oh no. Two more January whips for Whip Go to catch up on. One is the Secret Garden, which I think is going to have to be, I think that was one of my a restart, because I needed to move it across to 18 count fabric from the 25 count. So that's has to be restarted. And then the other one is the Hade Cell for this year, for 2025, which I think also, I can't remember if I did that on, I think I started that on 25 count, but I haven't done much. So that's also a restart on 18 count. So I need to do them, and then I can move to February. Anyway, and then the last thing is the Italian cycle race in May that I'm doing with Laura from I Stitch Birds. That starts on the 9th of May, and I asked people to vote for the projects, or the project from, I think there was 4 or 5 to choose from, and everyone, well, whoever voted, most people voted for Simplicity. So that's the one I'm going to be starting in May. So that's my plans. They're all the projects I worked on. It's quite a quick video this time around. That's all I needed to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. And until then, happy stitching. Bye bye.